All right. All right. So the question was, I intellectually understand, the infinite, the observer, the enlightened state, but I only intellectually understand it, haven't had the realization. How do you go from understanding it in your head to experiencing it? And the second part of the question was, how do I release negative entities which are attached to me? Okay. So the first one, the intellectual. How do I go from intellectually, I read a book on enlightenment, I understand the observer, but I don't actually experience it. Well, I would go to a group where people have actually experienced it and had the spiritual awakening to the observer or to whatever it is that you seek, enlightenment, the enlightened state, the infinite state, and get a mentor or be in a group where people have accessed that. Then you'll get ideally you'll get a mentor, and ideally you if people are in the group, you'll be getting the wisdom and the energetic imprint of that. After you've got that, just like with everything, you've got to put in the practice. There is the 12 steps, they have a thing called the Big Book, and there's a chapter saying interaction. So you're not going to realize the enlightened state by reading about it. You have to put in enormous amounts of spiritual practice over probably enormous periods of time and make the sacrifice of letting go of the ego payoff. So I think that, that's the purpose of monasteries, is they force you to do the practice rather than read a book or watch TV. Or, a lot of these monasteries, you don't even have a family. You just have to do it until you get there. So, but my experience is, I mean, I was very lucky. I've been to spiritual teachers who had the enlightened state, so it's very, it was quite easy. It takes work. One of the core things I'm teaching, if a simple way to explain how do you get to the higher states of infinite awareness is it's I mean, I'll tell you one way. I mean, you just do non-stop every day, for hours on end. I cancel my addiction to thinking. I'm an infinite being subject only to what I hold in mind. And you do that ferociously every day for hours until you can't think any longer and thoughts don't even emerge. And there's only a field of silent awareness. There you go. Now, how many people are going to do that? I don't know. But if anyone is going to do that, I'd recommend, every hour you're not doing it, the practice, you're actually engaging in the addiction of thinking and the ego. So you're actually going backwards. So if anyone is willing to do what I've just said, and they're having problems getting to a state of awareness after several months, and getting glimpses of infinite peace and silence, come to these groups and speak to me, and I'll give you the next suggestion. But if anyone's willing to do that, I want to meet them anyway, who's willing to sacrifice being in their head, because I love people like that who are willing to put in the work. But yeah, the work is not reading more books on it. It's not intellectualizing about it or thinking about it. It's actually doing a very effective practice, whether it be the observer, if you can do it. Otherwise, I can give you prayers. I can guide people on prayers to cancel the belief and thoughts. All right. So, oh yes, how do I get rid of negative entities? Hawkins says, if you feel something's attached to you, you can say, in the name of Jesus Christ, I order you to leave. I also recommend, usually negative energies. There's a few things you can do. You can do the anti-karma prayer if you suspect, like if you suspect uh let's see, if I suddenly went into a situation and then I felt some negative energy attached to me. I've actually had something like that. Anyway, came off another person who came to me in a spiritual group. Anyway, I'll share that in another video. Okay, creepy stuff. And yeah, so generally speaking, you can do the anti-karma prayer. So if you think, for example, if I've misled people and they've gone in and in a past lifetime or this lifetime, then I could do the anti-karma prayer. I pray for forgiveness for the one in me who's misled people spiritually so that they've taken on negative energies. Like, for example, the other thing is just to increase your spiritual vibration. You can also pray to God for a miracle to reveal to you in truth what is holding the entity or allowing the entity to do it. Often there's could be a karmic lesson or a chakra out of balance that you need to find out what's going on and release it through prayer and see what's out. But the simple way to do it is just to do lots and lots of high spiritual vibration stuff. I mean, spiritual energies, they don't like high vibration. It makes it more difficult. They like low vibration. Probably like a nightclub with gangster rap music and everyone drinking booze. That's where the entities have great influence. But if you're sticking around churches where they're having holy incense and and splashing holy water all over the place, these negative entities will find it very, very difficult energies to stick on you. Praying for them to be moved, praying to God to reveal for a miracle, to reveal to you the lesson of why you feel such a thing. Also go to people who are more experienced into you for guidance if you feel it's something significant. Probably the church has things like exorcists for a reason. Yeah, so just depends. Just stay away from negative TV, negative people, negative relationships, gangster rap music. Also understand if you want to be safe, I'd just stick to Hawkins and the lessons from A Course in Miracles. As Hawkins said, most of the spiritual teachers have fallen. And I will shoot something on that. But listening to a spiritual teacher, I mean, there's one who was recommending sex orgies and had 97 Rolls Royces. I mean, you don't know what is the consequence of doing that, but I do. And you don't want to be with a fallen teacher. And yeah, Hawkins mentioned it himself once. One of his teachers, he said suddenly, when he said, like, give out your spiritual method to the world for free, he said he felt like a negative entity came through the teacher and said that it should be sold for money and that he was higher than Jesus Christ and Buddha. And Hawkins said it was a horrific energy which came out of his own teacher when he said give his method for free to the world. So I think I know which teacher it is and what method, but because I'm shooting a video, I won't say it on camera. So yeah, so I put I'm accountable to this by God. I recommend all students who want to hold me as a teacher stick with Hawkins, and in my view, you'll be safe. Any other teacher that you want to follow, I don't recommend, and that's up to you. Yeah, if you want to do that. But if you're trying to remove negative energies, I would stay away from all spiritual teachers unless you know they've been calibrated as positive.